This is really interesting. So first, take a look at this. ThroneandLiberty.online is reporting that we're finally starting to see some dates or some talk about the upcoming global beta. Now, this is leaked from investment and securities websites, which is kind of how we've been getting a lot of our Throne and Liberty news because of the investment impact to this game. But they're talking about the global beta now falling between August and September 2023. And this is personally very interesting to me because these dates are very significant and have a big impact on the rest of 2023, as well as the other Amazon published properties. So hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Brian. If you happen to be new around here, returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. And that's what you get for subscribing. And an additional greeting or a thank you in these videos. But I'm not here to waste anybody's time. I think these are some interesting dates and I'd love to hear your thoughts specifically because we've seen kickback and pushback already on what Throne and Liberty showcased, right? So the first things first, we're talking about development resources and impacts. We saw from interviews coming out of Summer Games Fest that the feedback is heard, and in the next iteration of this game, the next time people get to go hands-on with this game, they want to show you the impact of that feedback with the game itself, which is a thing to be applauded, especially when a company listens, makes those changes, and then listens some more as a part of this process. That's something that I personally enjoy. I think that's the other side of the coin that we don't see traditionally represented in most kind of games, but MMOs are a little bit different, right? We are all kind of in this kind of communication with the devs, and if the devs are doing a really good job, that relationship is strong, and I think players can win because of it. Now, timeline-wise, we're talking about it's going to have been 4 to 5 months since people have played this game if August, September ends up being true. That's a lot of time to make some significant changes. We talked earlier on this channel, I've been covering this game for a little while now. We've talked a little bit about how the time it takes to really implement feedback. I, for one, am fatigued with marketing betas. A marketing beta is not a beta. It literally is just an opportunity to stress test the servers, pay for the privilege, and if there's problems, they'll promise they'll fix them, but generally speaking, they'll wait to see how well the game's received to decide if they want to invest that kind of work. So some of the changes, not all, and we don't know specifically what it is. Everybody who's listening to this video right now is going to have kind of the things that they want, and they might not all be the same. So rather than relitigate my personal changes that I want to see made, I think the key aspect outside of autoplay, the key aspect was kind of the stagnant combat. And with this kind of time frame, I'm betting we're going to see some changes with the combat because that's what they alluded to in the interviews, and that's what I think this has given them enough time to make some of these changes overall. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see what that actually looks like. But if you're kind of planning your beta schedule, or if you're kind of like, wait, I'll wait and see about this game, this time frame is significant. Now, we also know, because this isn't all done in a bubble, New World will be having their expansion this fall. Season 3 is going to kick off sometime early in October. I think essentially where this game originally was also rumored to kind of fall now in fourth quarter 2023 is one of the big questions, is the biggest question of all. Does Amazon decide to release the New World expansion at the same time also in October releasing this game with the latest rounds of beta? And then honestly, I would be kind of questioning what kind of feedback. Are they ready for the kind of release schedule that's to come afterwards? Because if anybody is going to tell you one thing, I think the biggest thing that these companies and these games have to do is deliver constant content updates, at least for 6 months prior to the game's launch. Not prior, after the game's release, so that every month you're getting kind of that dopamine hit of that, hey, yeah, this is definitely worth checking out. Oh, they made this change. Oh, they made that change. Oh, it's getting better. To be able to address not just the small bugs, but to also add in new content to get people excited. And once you develop that kind of trust, you can actually extend it out a little bit further, because I do find the healthiest amount of time between updates tends to be about three months. Especially when you look at, just the online discourse. The more that you're hyped about the news, the more things are there to be excited about. So that's going to be kind of where that comes into play. So this is going to be meaning a stacked 2023, 2024, because we haven't even mentioned Blue Protocol yet in this video. And Blue Protocol is most likely set for, January, February, March 2024. And no, Blue Protocol wasn't delayed for Throne and Liberty. I see I see those comments. That is not at all in this case. What a lot of people forget to remember is that Blue Protocol originally was delayed. That delay was originally having Blue Protocol come out this fall, but because of the delay for Japan, that got pushed to 2024. Most likely got pushed to December, but then when you're launching a game in December, it's really hard. It's really hard because guess what? I'm sure you like to take time off work. I like to take time off work. Everybody likes to have those kind of holidays, and it's really hard to launch, especially a service-based game during that time, because all of a sudden you're asking people to forgo their own holidays to support the game, and you don't know kind of what that impact is. And you also want people to have the ability to rest so they can enjoy their job, and they don't just go take another job somewhere and you lose that as a resource. Human resources in development are a real critical component. So if this is scheduled for beta in late August, early September, I personally could see them launching in November. I think that's when you start to see the hype, depending on, again, this is where it's like a chess match we're watching out, play in real time. That's where you can kind of launch your New World expansion and then in a way kind of cannibalize some of that hype and move it over into Throne of Liberty. And you're just going to have to jump back and forth between the two if you like to do that. Or hell, it's got right now autoplay. You could do both at the same time. And I wonder if we'll see any kind of integrations between these two games. Because that's one of the things we haven't yet to see overall, but we've seen it in other games where you kind of have, all within the same wheelhouse. Hey, we're going to have this kind of theme or this kind of helmet, or who knows. I think there's a lot to explore and be excited about. Now, again, this beta would be for PS5, Xbox with the cross-play. That's essentially kind of what they're targeting with the game. And I think essentially, if they are going to have that kind of time frame, that puts this pretty close to launch. And outside of December, I wouldn't put this game as a launch in December personally, just because of the issues that I mentioned already. It could mean that it's a November launch, and that's going to be fascinating. I honestly think that would be really quite impactful, quite fascinating to see people kind of jump into this game over the holidays for those of you who are looking for this kind of style of MMORPG. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. Launching in this time frame is gonna be difficult, as we've seen from time and time again, but yeah, any thoughts that you guys want to share with me, I'd love to hear them. And that's gonna be it for this video. I'll keep you guys up to date on this news, and we're also all waiting for the Xbox Microsoft FTC ruling maybe today or something like that, so maybe there'll be something to talk about in regards to that. So thanks for being here, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one, but until then, take care.